If I shadowed a new board member in their first kind of 90 days of being on the board, what mistakes would I see?
Well,
All of
I
them?
feel sorry for those. I feel sorry for them. And say, get out now. No, first of all, I think it's great that any new board member would come on board and volunteer to participate. After all, this is their property. And this probably the single most expensive investment they've ever made. And getting involved and participating is crucial to maintaining that investment. You want it to be able to sell that at some time in the future and have hopefully made some money on that investment. So it's important. But I would say in the first 90 days, they're what they need to do and what they don't do often is read their legal documents. So read the declaration and bylaws. We call them here. The declaration is going to establish the physical property itself. It defines all the parts. It explains who's responsible for what and how things work. The bylaws are a document that explains how you govern. So, how many board members do you need? How do you elect them? How do you remove them? What are the responsibilities of the board? So, you have those two documents that are extremely important, and they interact with the Illinois Condo Act, which is the Illinois condo law. And the Illinois Condo Act sets the basic requirements for what goes into the declaration of bylaws. So you can't have anything in your declaration of bylaws that contradicts this higher authority of the Illinois Condo Act.
Mhm.
So I think what they don't do in the first 60 to 90 days, especially if they are brand new, and many people have been in their condo buildings for a long time and they don't even know what that document is. So they need to read the declaration of bylaws, they need to read the rules and regulations, they need to get up to speed on how things work. I think they also need to thoroughly review financial information. They need to see where the association stands. Are they net positive with their cash flow? Are they struggling? Are there owners who are not making payments on their balances? So, do they need to address delinquencies? So, get a complete understanding really of how the association operates, what the state law is at minimum. At least read those documents. They're not the most fun to read. There's a lot of legal language in there, but it's where you need to start and get a thorough overview of the financial situation.
It does seem like if you don't read those, it's if you're there to make decisions and enforce the rules and you don't know the rules, that could
Right,
be
and
it.
you don't know. And if you're having a meeting as a board, we just talked about this in a webinar this week. If you're having a board meeting, someone should have a copy of the declaration and bylaws there at the meeting because that is your reference.
Mm.
When something comes up and you're not sure how to address it, that's the first place you look. How do we do
Mm.
this thing? Do we need to maintain this part of the property? Who's responsible? What kind of insurance coverage do we need? All sorts of questions are answered by those documents.
Typically in these meetings, they are because they're self-managed. There's no resident property manager who's been there, done that, and can kind of advise them here.
Right. So I think it's important also to look for ways to get educated. And I know in Illinois, there's the Community Associations Institute, which is actually a national organization. You can find a chapter in pretty much any state. And they provide a lot of property manager training and legal updates. And they have vendors who are on board that they can connect associations to. So looking into the education that's provided for that organization is great. I have a platform as well that I've created modules for board training, and I do what I can to pass along whatever's going on in the industry, and also create my own content to help to educate my clients and just Illinois condos in general, of these thousands of small condo associations that are just really struggling to make their way through this type of living situation. So it's important to find the education. It's important, and I know that it's kind of the last thing that people want to spend their time on because it's not so much fun,
Hmm.
but it's going to make a huge difference down the road, and it's going to minimize conflict, and it's going to Does that help you to preserve your investment?
Welcome back to The Loop, your weekly dose of all things property management. I'm your host, Colin Stewart, and each week we're going to dive into the latest trends, strategies, and stories shaping the property management world. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, we're here to provide insights, expert interviews, and practical tips to help you navigate the ever-evolving landscape of property management.